shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Listen up, rock soldiers. This is Robbie Vegas, and I want you to know that this show is sponsored by Unchained Muscle. For all your workout gear needs, shaker bottles, whatever you need, t-shirts, tank tops, men, women, shorts. There's even a spot on the website where you can go and they will donate a portion of whatever you spend to mental health charity. So I'm going to need you guys to check that out. Go there, grab your gear. That's going to be unchainedmuscle.co.uk. If you use code RVegas20, you'll save 20% every time you go to the site. So check that out. Make sure you support our sponsors. They make this possible. Thank you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to All Bets Are Off with Robbie Vegas. Got a great episode for you today with Mike Fitz of Bad Marriage. Bad Marriage is on fire right now. They're just coming off a little mini tour with Tesla, and you guys should definitely check them out. We're not going to waste any time today, and we're going to get Mike on the phone here. We're going to let you guys learn all about him and this band that is just going to take over the world. All right, Mike, so to start this interview off, I just want to thank you very much for doing this. I truly appreciate it. You know, I'm a huge fan of Bad Marriage, so this is really cool for me. So
awesome, man. I appreciate being here, man, anytime.
So let's just start at the beginning, man. How did you get started in music to begin with?
Oh, man. Well, I'm a guitar player. You know, that's been my main passion for, I don't know, 22, 23 years or so. The only vision I have, or kind of memory, fond memory of big sounding guitars was my dad had a jukebox in the basement when we were growing up. And, you know, I just remember specifically hearing Led Zeppelin 2's Heartbreaker and the sound of Jimmy Page, and that particular guitar riff just stuck with me for years and years to come. That was my first, eye-opening experience with heavy rock and roll guitars. Obviously, you know, I'm a huge Zeppelin fan because of it, but, you know, anything that's hard-hitting, memorable riffs like that, you know, like Joe Perry, like Slash, you know, AC/DC stuff, any of those memorable guitar riffs, man, that's what kind of got me going and finally picked up the guitar. I was kind of a late bloomer. I picked it up in, say, freshman or sophomore year in high school. You know, a lot of kids start a lot earlier than that, but that was when I got my first guitar, and, you know, just ever since fell in love with it and continue to be in love with it.
That's awesome, man. Now, are you self-taught?
For the most part, I am. You know, I took lessons throughout my life, you know, and they never really lasted, you know, longer than 3 to 6 months, and I would either get bored or I didn't have the money for it. But I was fortunate to have, I was friends with some older people that played. Like in high school, I had friends that were already kind of in bands, so when I picked up the guitar, you know, I'd always bother them and pester them to show me this, show me that. So they were cool enough to kind of put up with me and show me stuff over and over again until I drilled it in my head and kind of forced myself for my fingers to make it happen. So, you know, self-taught with, obviously, we didn't have YouTube back then. If I had that, it's so awesome now. You know, anything I want to learn, or even if I want to learn new stuff, I can just kind of browse around for anything. You can find anyone teaching anything on YouTube. So, but for the most part, I was self-taught growing up.
That's huge. A lot of people can't say that they can teach themselves music like that, so that's pretty amazing. You mentioned Led Zeppelin being one of your biggest influences. What else were some of your favorite bands when you were growing up? You said, I think you mentioned AC/DC too?
Yeah, man, I love, as far as guitar players, you know, it's whatever like hard rock riffs, you know, kind of resonate with me or stuck with me. You know, edgier the better for me. I mean, obviously, you know, if you want to talk rock, the early Aerosmith stuff, I still listen to. I love early Deep Purple. I love, obviously, Led Zeppelin. I love, early AC/DC. I love all AC/DC. I love, you know, getting on the metal side. You know, I love bands like Judas Priest. I love Dio. I love Black Sabbath. You know, again, you can see the reoccurring theme here. They're all very similar with memorable riffs like Richie Blackmore and Tony Iommi. Joe Perry, Slash, love GNR, you know, a lot of the 80s hair metal bands that were a little bit more mean, you know, like Skid Row, I love them, you know, stuff like that. Anything that's catchy and badass, you know?
We have a lot of the same favorite bands. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Nice.
Especially Skid Row. I'm huge into Skid Row. So now you're tearing it up with Bad Marriage, and you guys are coming off of a mini tour with Tesla, who is also incredible. So how did Bad Marriage get started?
Well, to touch on the Tesla, I'm sure we'll get into the Tesla tour, but that was awesome. wasn't really my style. We were actually more in the Bad Marriage vein. Early in my old band's career, we were called Empire Street, and but before that, our name was the LA Mob. And the LA part wasn't for Los Angeles. There's a part of Boston known as Lower Alston, and so that's why we named the band the LA Mob, the Lower Alston Mob. That was more along the line of the 80s Sunset Strip style rock and roll, sleazy rock kind of thing. We ended up changing our name to Empire Street. We started incorporating some synth stuff and stuff that I wasn't really a huge fan of. I didn't hate it because I still wrote a lot of the main hooks and guitar of that band. But anyway, when that broke up, I was a little bummed out because we had some good stuff going. But I just said to myself, if I'm going to do another band, and put my heart and soul and pour my heart and soul into it, I'm going to handpick all the members. And I just went over and over in my head who I've known for the longest and who I thought had what it took or had what it takes to be in a rock band with me, and kind of people who get it, understand how hard it is, people that have a great look, people that have the talent, and overall people that are cool to hang out with. And I just kind of went down the line and said, hey, I want you, and I want you, and I want you to be in a project with me, and and that was it. Everything kind of fell into place. Bad Marriage was formed, and that's kind of how it's been. I've known most of the people in the band for 20 years. I'd say 15 to 20 years. Todd, the bass player, is the only person I didn't know, but he's one of us now, so it's all working out.
That's an amazing story, honestly. So would you say your position in Bad Marriage is you're kind of like the brains behind it all?
Well, I mean, you could say it that way. I mean, it is kind of my vision. I put everyone together, the vision, but, we all have the same goal. And I believe it's all of our vision now because, they're all on board, see the big picture of what we're trying to do. I don't think they'd still be here. And everyone's having a blast, and everyone gets along. And the songs keep coming, It's like we don't lack in the songwriting department with, I'm knocking on wood right now, but we have a lot of material, and we're just trying to be strategic on how we put it out, It's because, a lot of bands, I think the roadblock for them is having enough material or enough good material, We are super picky what we put out. We still have a lot of stuff, so we're excited about it, man. And I have my recording studio. I do all the recording at my house, the mixing, and right now I'm kind of the manager. We don't have a management contract or anything like that behind us, so I'm doing all of the networking and all of the booking and stuff. So I got a lot on my plate, but again, it's what I love to do, so I'm just going to keep doing it until I'm not having fun anymore,
Yeah, and that's pretty impressive. It's, but when you love what you do, it doesn't always feel like work. So I definitely get that. Back to the Tesla mini tour. How did that come about?
Well, it's funny because I mentioned my old band, Empire Street. When we were a band, we got signed to a publishing company out of New York City called Roundhill. Publishing companies are great because, it's their job to kind of shop their music to, movies and video games and TV commercials and stuff like that, and, TV shows. So when we were under that publishing company, we built a great relationship with them. Even though my band broke up, the CEO and the people over there still followed me. They still have faith in me and what I was putting together in Bad Marriage. So they actually own some of Tesla's catalog.
Okay.
That's what a publishing companies, for anyone who's listening who don't really get what they do, another big part of what they do is they purchase, bands back catalogs. They might buy songs from actual artists and bands for, a lump sum of money. So then when you hear the songs on the radio, the publisher, whoever owns the publishing, is actually getting paid. So it just all depends on who owns the publishing. So they had purchased some of Tesla's catalog. I don't know the details of that. That was our connection with Tesla. That publishing company reached out and said, hey, we have some dates that need to be filled on the Tesla tour. We think Bad Marriage would be a great fit. So that's where that came along.
Awesome. Do you have any a favorite story from that mini tour that you could share with us?
Oh man, there's so many. We posted a video. The singer from Tesla, Jeff Keith, actually out back. We had some downtime and we were hanging out back, and him and our singer Johnny P just started singing an old Aerosmith song. I mean, we were in Boston. We were playing the House of Blues in Boston. an up-and-coming band. They were just two kids in their element just singing, It reminded me of being on like a playground. So that to me was an eyebrow-raising sight, It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's excellent. I love stories like that. I'm going to get you a little kind of off topic here real quick. You seem to have like this crazy, amazing t-shirt collection of rock and roll. Do you just collect like vintage rock shirts? Is that a thing for you?
Yeah, let's stop right there and I'll admit that I have a sickness. It's definitely a problem. Yeah, I mean, I started with leather jackets. They take up so much room. They're wicked heavy and they're expensive when you're trying to get really cool, unique vintage leather jackets. So, God, I think I have about 30 plus leather jackets. But I discovered T-shirts because I thought they were going to be cheaper. I said, you know what? I can't afford vintage leather jackets as much as I thought I could. Might as well go with vintage concert tees and any cool vintage tee. And wow, did I find out that they are not cheap. So
yeah, I can imagine.
I've been pretty lucky with finding some family friends or just friends of the band that happen to buy old concert T-shirts when they actually went to the show. For whatever reason they might not fit anymore, or they're just sitting in a bin in their attic. And so I've been lucky like that to get a bunch at a time. I think my latest one, I just got a Black Crowes one with the crows on it that have the X's on their eyes. They're like smoking joints, a badass shirt. I think it's from 1990. But yeah, man, there's so many. And there's so many that I don't have. So it's fun to do, but it is expensive.
I mean, they're pretty badass, though. Every time you post a picture of one of them, I'm like, I wish I had that.
And believe me, I'm holding back. I want to post like 5 a day.
Oh, wow.
But I'm sparing,
That's cool, though. Here's one for you. This is a thinker. Create me a super group, 5 members in a band that you would put together as your biggest band of all time.
Oh, man. Super group. All right. Can they be, they all have to be alive, or can they be deceased, or what?
Anyone. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to go with my favorite drummer, and it's from Led Zeppelin, John Bonham. I'm going to put him behind the kit. Let's see. Let's put, I don't want to put someone too close to Jimmy Page from Bonham. I was going to say Richie Blackmore. To me, he's so similar to Jimmy Page with their writing style. And this is a thinker.
This is a tough question.
Yeah, we're going to put one of my favorite singers. We're going to put Ronnie James Dio on vocals. So we'll put Dio on vocals and Bonham on drums. Let's see. For rhythm guitar, we'll put Malcolm Young.
Okay. For
lead guitar. Hard because they're all in that same category. So I'm trying to be different, but Malcolm and we'll go with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top.
Okay.
So Malcolm and Billy. So you're leaving out a bass player.
Yep.
Who can just hold it down. I want to say John Paul Jones, but I'm not going to use 2 members of Zepp. You know what? We'll say Brian Wheat from Test because we got to. I think we're going to be able to work with him in the future. He showed some liking to Bad Marriage, and I've been listening to a lot of Tesla lately, and I have a newfound love for them. So we're going to say Brian Wheat from Tesla. So there you go. That's my super group.
I love it. Wow, what a lineup. I'd like to see that too.
I don't know if it'd work, but you never know.
All those guys are so good, it would definitely work. All right, kind of staying in that same vein, give me 2 of your favorite rock and rollers, one living, one dead, that you would like to have dinner with.
Definitely who's deceased would be Bon Scott, original singer of AC/DC.
Okay.
That guy to me is the epitome of a frontman. I really don't think there's anyone else like him. Every time I re-listen to the old AC/DC catalog, I am blown away. He's just a legend to me. Who else I'd like to have dinner with? I'd probably say Steven Tyler, just because he'd be fun. My guitar idols, I know I listed 2 singers, which you probably think is funny. But, as far as guitar players, I'd hate to just sit down to dinner and me just bother them about guitar, just because that's what they do,
You're right.
Steven Tyler would just be a riot, just because he's such a nice dude. He did call me on the phone one time, and he was so cool to me. Again, that was when I was in my old band, Empire Street, but he was listening to some songs that I had been recording with his friend Marty out in Nashville. So Marty was playing him some of the ideas that we were writing, and he called me and was like, "Wow, this shit is awesome," and kind of a pat on the back, kind of keep doing what you're doing. I'll never forget that. That was one of the coolest phone calls I've ever got. So I'd like to say I'd like to have dinner with Steven Tyler and Bon Scott.
That's awesome. Two solid choices. I bet you Steven Tyler's got some crazy stories too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just from things I've heard or read. So let's see. Give me two bands that would be like a dream tour to go on tour with for Bad Marriage.
You know, being from Boston and in the Massachusetts area, I know they're probably on their last touring legs, you know, but we would love to support Aerosmith. I think we're similar in a lot of ways, but, you know, I think we're definitely different enough, you know, that we would really mesh well on a tour. And obviously it would be a dream for us, you know, again, just being local boys like they were back in the day. So I think Aerosmith and I guess GNR. I mean,
oh yeah,
Guns N' Roses are probably the biggest, you know, rock band in the world right now, just because, you know, they kind of put all their differences aside and, you know, started those tours again. But I mean, I saw them twice on their most recent tour, once out in Vegas and once here in Boston, and they were incredible. So I think that would just be surreal growing up on GNR, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing it back to Bad Marriage now, for anybody who's never heard you guys before, what would be one song that you would pick of yours to introduce them to you that you think would rope them in and speak volumes about who you are as a band?
Ooh, that's a tough one. You know, again, I like all of our material. I think they all, you know, kind of showcase who we are. Again, I'm a riff guy. I try and make sure there's memorable riffs in all of the Bad Marriage songs. You know, tasty riffs, memorable, however you want to put it. But, you know, I think the first song we did a video for was called Old School Stereo. You know, it kind of has an 80s throwback feel. It's not exactly what we're trying to be, but I still love the song. I think it's got some great hooks. I think the arrangement is great. You know, I think the video came out great too. So I think that kind of, you know, if someone were to watch that video and have never heard or seen us before, I think that would give you a good indication of what Bad Marriage is all about. You know, we do have a heavier, edgier side, so I'd have to mention a close second would be our song Diablo, and we have a video for Diablo as well. It's a little bit more hard-hitting, a little bit more of a heavier feel to it, but I think they're both pretty badass songs.
I gotta say, my favorite Bad Marriage song is Electric Emerald Eyes.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I was going to say that too.
My girl is probably tired of me singing it in the car by now.
No way.
It's just such a great song. I just can't listen to it enough.
That's awesome, man.
I show that to a lot of people.
Awesome. Yeah, like I'm proud of that one too, you know, and we all are. Definitely a good tune. Again, catchy riffs. I love the vocal melody. It's just a cool song. It's you know, it's one that I would listen to. I like to think if I heard this song on the radio, and I know it's tough because you know, I'm part of the band and, you know, there's a bias that goes along with it, but I listen to the songs once in a while and I'm like, all right, this is still a good song, you know. You know, you know how you're your own worst critic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you hear it back and you don't like your voice or your guitar playing or... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you start thinking of a million things you shoulda, coulda, woulda done. And,
well, of course.
You know, but, you know, I definitely dig Emerald Eyes. That's a great one, too. We just put out a lyric video for that, which I thought came out really well.
I'll have to check that out. Where could I find that? On YouTube?
Yeah, I'll send you the link. But, yeah, YouTube. And, actually, you know what? I think we just posted it on Facebook, so it'll be on our Bad Marriage page on Facebook, the official Bad Marriage page. You know, we have an awesome group for just dedicated Bad Marriage fans called the Bad Marriage Society, which is just a kick-ass group. But we will be putting it on YouTube shortly. We kind of wanted to give it the Facebook first, just because we've had some pretty good success with Facebook and our fans, and then we'll put it on YouTube as well.
Awesome, man. That's killer. I'm actually a part of that group too, so I'll check that out. So what's next for you guys? What's up for Bad Marriage in the future?
I'm finishing putting the final touches on the album. You know, this will be our first length, you know, roughly 10 songs. It won't be less than that, but we might, you know, throw in a bonus track or two. We're just not sure. We got to kind of feel out the 10 songs and see how they kind of coincide with each other, you know, and see if we can put something else on there. That's that. We're finalizing some killer artwork. Our friend Dean, who's a comic book drawer or illustrator or drawer, I'm not sure the terminology, but he's great. He's putting the finishing touches on the artwork. I think we're going to include, you know, a custom in August. We have a show with XYZ in July. Those are both in New Bedford, a place called The Vault. It's a really cool joint. Other than that, we're trying to lock some more Tesla dates down in September, but that's all in talks right now. So unfortunately, nothing set in stone with that. You know, the point is to get our album out. We'll probably do a short run of vinyl, limited edition vinyl, and we'll do some CDs, and just go from there. And then just start working on the next one.
Awesome, man. You guys are really killing it out there. I love that you're playing with all these 80s hair bands, too. That's my favorite era. So every time you drop one of those names, I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah. We just played with Enough's Enough last weekend, and it was really cool. They were an awesome band, and they were super nice guys.
Who is your favorite 80s hair band, then? Since you're getting all this time on stage with all these guys, who would you say is your favorite?
We opened for Dawkins. I love Dawkins. And again, it was a band that I didn't really know too much about until we got the gig offer. And then obviously I started listening to their catalogs. I was so pleasantly surprised with how good they are and how hooky their stuff was. Obviously George Lynch as a guitar player is insane. He's an alien on the guitar. So, they're awesome. I've been listening to them a lot. We got to open from another local band called Extreme, and again, same situation. I didn't know too much about them other than their radio hits, and I'm a huge fan. I love Tesla, obviously. They were such cool dudes, and I've been listening to their catalog more, and I'm blown away at how good they are. So it's just I'm liking that you get to discover these bands now, that I didn't get a chance to listen to them fully when I was a kid, because I was totally just into GNR and Skid Row, and and then I went through a huge classic rock phase. I love the Doors, I love Floyd, again Zeppelin. So you kind of stick to what you like. Now I'm kind of revisiting all these other bands because we're getting the opportunity to play with them. So it's very cool.
That is funny how that happens, because a lot of these bands, for as great as they are and as popular as they were, they're still kind of underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Oddly enough, I was driving yesterday and somebody had a bumper sticker that said Don Dokken for president.
That's funny. I've not seen that one yet, but I do have some cool vintage Dokken T-shirts that I treasure. They're just, all the old T-shirts are just so cool, man. They have, it's when bands cared about their artwork and their T-shirt design and their logo design. They did. It was, like bands like Iron Maiden and Megadeth. They have the coolest, artwork to go along with their music, and I that's what we're really trying to do because it's so important.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a lost art form now, especially because most people just, download. So it's one of those things where, bands don't put as much effort or thought into having that album cover that just pops and makes you want to buy it and see what's on it just because of the way it looks,
Definitely.
I miss
there's
that.
nothing like holding a vinyl up and just seeing that full color art on, a big square like that. It's so cool. And I still think a lot of people want that, and creating imagery along with the music, I think it's vital. I think it's coming back, and I think, bands need to adhere to that because it's kind of a necessity, if you ask me.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, 100%. And if you happen to track down a Dokken shirt that says Dream Warriors from Nightmare on Elm Street, that'd be awesome. You'll have to let me know.
Wow, I will, and I'll keep an eye out. I do not have that one, but I have some cool ones. I'll send you some pictures.
Absolutely. So before we wrap this up, where can we find you and Bad Marriage on social media? If you just plug it all, Twitter, Instagram, everything.
Yeah. Well, again, we have our dedicated Facebook fan page, I guess. It's called Bad Marriage Society. And again, it's everything Bad Marriage. So, if you become a fan of the band, that's a great place because everyone's just talking about Bad Marriage. Everyone's sharing their pictures, and it's honestly a great community, and it's growing, which is awesome. We had a huge surge from the Tesla shows, people that have come over and are converted Bad Marriage fans. So it's really, really cool to see. But as far as music, we have 3 music videos right now that are all available on YouTube. Like I said, we have our first one called Old School Stereo. Then we did a cover of our own version. Well, we did our own version of a Tom Petty song called Honeybee, and we have a video for that. We also have a video for Diablo, which is our latest single. Again, YouTube. And then all of the songs that we have available now are for download and stream, on all of the digital, formats. iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. So you can find all the stuff there. I think it's that. Our handle on Instagram is, I think it's just Bad Marriage Band. Between Facebook and, Instagram, and we try to get all of those angles covered.
Awesome. And are you guys on Twitter too?
You know what? I think we are, but we need to be more active. God, I don't even know the handle offhand.
Let's just assume it's Bad Marriage Band.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool, man. Well, that about wraps it up for me and my questions. Hopefully we can have you on again in the future, maybe after you do the next Tesla tour, because I know that you will. Check in with you and see how the album's doing once it's released, and we can get you on here to promote it and tell people where to buy it and all that fun stuff if you're willing to come back.
Dude, I'd love that, man. Anytime we can get our other guitar player, good old Captain Ian. I know he's a big fan of yours. I know he supports you, and he's such a nice dude. Again, man, I handpicked these guys for a reason. Everyone in the band is such a genuine person. So, I'd love to see you and Ian connect at some point.
Absolutely. That'd be huge. And I heard that Tesla is going to be coming through Buffalo. I don't know if that's true or not, but if they do, I hope that you guys are on that show so I can be there. Of course.
That'd be killer.
I did just do a photo shoot last weekend, for wrestling and that, and I was wearing my Bad Marriage shirt, so I can't wait to see those photos.
No way. That's killer. Me neither. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for coming on, man. I truly appreciate you.
Yeah, man, and anything we can do to help you with your wrestling career, man, just let us know.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. You take care.
You too, man. Thanks again. All right, everybody, that was a killer interview with Mike Fitz from Bad Marriage. Man, if you guys haven't checked them out by now, please do. You will not be disappointed. They have some amazing songs. Check out their videos on YouTube, like Mike was saying. Awesome guy to talk to. Hopefully we have him back very soon. Before I let you go, though, let me talk to all my gym goers out there and let me save you some money. In the description for this podcast, you can follow the link for Insane Labs. I'm telling you guys, these supplements are hands down the best supplements I've ever used. They have everything from proteins and BCAAs and pre-workouts and testosterone boosters, whatever you need. And I tell you, I use this stuff. I've never felt better. I've never felt stronger. So anybody out there in the wrestling world, or you just like to stay fit, check them out and let me save you some cash. Our Vegas 30 will save you 50% off your order. That is a huge, huge discount. Check them out, and we will see you next time on All Bets Are Off.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.